Yeah, having the same issue, but it's okay. It's 4, so I won't continue to start it and stop it. Why don't you come on in, Ryan? Just know that it is live right now.
Cool. It says I can't start my video because the host has disabled it.
Host is disabled. Okay, so there's a couple of things going on here. One moment. All panelists. Could you try one more time? Hopefully that looks like some of the settings might have been changed on the last Zoom.
No, it says you cannot start video. Host has stopped it.
Still says host has stopped it. Okay, one moment here. And all of them that you can invest in directly. I did all of that with the recording off, so I'm gonna do a quick recap on what I just covered. So I'm just going so great. So we got past the technological issues. We are recording. We have our panelists. Again, I'm Eric Cox. I'm a member of the Netcapital team, and this is the beginning of our January series. There are 3 others in the next 2 weeks, so please do keep an eye out for our emails. There's one tonight, obviously, on health and wellness. There's sustainability on Thursday at the same time. Next week, a week from today, January 26th, there's the social impact demo day. And on January 28th, also at 7 p.m., diverse industries. So we'll be really kind of having a good time towards the end of January, every other day, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So without any more delay, I'm super excited to have with us 3 fantastic companies: Biomedic, Trip Bio, and the Feel Good Lab. And since we have Biomedic on the top of the list here, and Cynthia Winning was bearing with me so great when I shut down her video to start it off. Cynthia, why don't you start us off by telling us a little bit about Biomedic? And so everybody knows, as always, these companies are available to be invested in on netcapital.com. You can go there and search the company's name. And the structure of today's event is that there will be 3-minute pitch followed by 5 minutes of audience participation and question and answer. So we'll probably wrap up a little early tonight since we only have 3 companies. All that being said, Cynthia, why don't you come on in here and bring us home?
Okay, I'll start my pitch deck. Is that okay?
Yes, please. And you should be allowed to. Yes.
Just bear with me for a second. Okay. I think I need to share screen first. Just 1 second, Eric.
No problem. I couldn't possibly ask you to move any more quickly, given my start to this event. Oh, perfect.
Okay, let me make this large. And I will start it. Here we go. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Cynthia Winning. I'm CEO of Biomedic. And Biomedic is a biotech company. And our biotech was founded on the discovery that certain amino acids have antiviral properties. And that led to the discovery of the first and only known natural broad-spectrum antiviral, which we call Biomune. Now, Biomune is a clinically proven broad-spectrum antiviral. We've used the drug Tamiflu in all of our in vitro research, and we have been able to outperform the drug Tamiflu in the suppression of influenza. Biomune is non-strain specific for any strain of flu, colds, many common viruses. It's a natural amino acid formula, and we've been granted 24 patents. Now, our product is 2 products in one. It's a safe and effective antiviral that quickly reduces viruses. And to do that, it's supported by vitamins, minerals, and bioflavonoids that deliver superior immune support. And here's a sample of viral resolution. We quickly can resolve many viruses. Tamiflu, the drug Tamiflu, will reduce a 7-day flu by about 6.5 hours, and we can reduce that flu in 24. Here's a snapshot of our research. When we discovered that we had developed a natural antiviral, we engaged in 10 years of research. We wanted to follow drug protocols. So we've engaged in vitro, in vivo, and human clinical research, which shows we have a safe and effective antiviral. And you can see a snapshot of our performance against anything from seasonal flu to pandemic, and some of our research partners below. Now, Vimune is the only product when it enters the wellness space that's capable of stopping multiple viruses. And our data has shown us that 2 of our top competitors actually will cause immune suppression for 4 hours each time you take them. And of course, Tamiflu is a drug. It's a dangerous Class C rated drug. So our product is proven safer, more effective than drugs or supplements, stops viruses instead of symptoms. It's non-strain specific. We had a CDC review where they told us we should go to market as soon as possible. It's inexpensive to produce, and it'll be sold as a rapid melt-away tablet. So when we enter the marketplace, our top 3 competitors in 2018 generated $1.25 billion in sales. Last year during the pandemic, it was $2.5 billion. We fully expect zero market sum disruption when we enter the market against these leading brands, because none of them can stop multiple viruses. And one of them is a very dangerous Class C ranked drug. So to do this, we've hired a global advertising agency, Ogilvy, to help us cut through the clutter of all the immune support products that are out there and help us rise to the top. And we're already underway. We're in production, and we're following the Ogilvy plan. So we're going to go to Amazon. We'll launch there for year 1. Then we'll go to national brick and mortar like CVS with a high margin product. And this is our team of seasoned executives, all in startup. And we also have a world-class scientific team who have helped us develop this formula. Any questions?
Awesome. And so now is a perfect time. Please do use that Q&A functionality built into Zoom. I know that there is also a chat feature. It's much harder to track all of those questions in there. So please do look for the one that says Q&A and go ahead and hop in there. Cynthia, while we're waiting for those to come in, I know one of the things that your team has done a phenomenal job of is bringing on strategic advisors. You mentioned the advertising marketing team that you're working with. Can you tell us a little bit more about the rest of the team and of course your background and how you got into this?
Oh, well, we do have a very highly seasoned team. Steve Lehman is the head of our board of directors. And Steve has a long background in investing in startups, and he's done very well. And then we have an attorney who specializes in startups. He came from Silicon Valley. And then our CFO is also very involved in startups. And so this team has helped us put everything together. And the way this started for me, my background is I've been a corporate product development and marketing executive in fintech and telecom companies. And I've had a lot of experience in taking complex new technologies and turning them into simple value consumer products. So about 10 years ago, my sister fell ill with an autoimmune disorder that was destroying her organs, and there was no antiviral available to her. So they told her that she would have to go into hiding practically from November to April because any small cold virus would kill her. So I thought with my product development background, I might be able to find an antiviral that would help her reclaim her life. And that's how I got involved in this project.
That story, when I first heard it, it kind of stayed in my brain forever. So I'm so glad you're able to share that with the rest of the attendees. And the levee is broken with questions here. So I don't think any more of my prepared questions will come out in this time. So we'll dive right in here from Holly. When do you expect to restock for Amazon customers? I think the question is that somebody might be trying to purchase through Amazon. And yeah, go ahead, Cynthia.
Well, we'll be entering our store. We've opened a store there, but we're not selling on Amazon yet. Our product is currently in production. We've actually had some supply chain issues in getting plastic bottles because the base materials that are used for plastic bottles also are what you use for PPE. So there's been a real slowdown. So we're switching to paper products. And so that's all in development now. We expect to be on Amazon toward the end of middle to end of March.
Great. And it looks like we have a couple more moments here, so I'm gonna have to kind of hop around. Can you tell us a little bit about your revenue model?
Well, we have a very high margin product. can make this product for about $3. And then with the Amazon cost, it's about $6, and we'll be selling it for close to 20. So with the high revenue, a high margin product like that, we expect to do very well.
Great. And I see a question about deal terms. I'm going to go ahead and field that one and direct your attention to netcapital.com for all the specifics about the deal terms. From a regulatory perspective, that is the best way to get all the information that you need. Specifically, you can go to netcapital.com/companies/biomedic, and then you'll have all the information you need there. And then this is actually great. So explain natural. What can you tell us of what this is made of? And then let's see if we could tag team that with, is there the expectation this might be able to help with COVID-19? I know that's on the top of everybody's mind.
Okay. Well, by natural, all of our compounds are natural products. Just a side story, very quick side story. There has never been a broad spectrum antiviral. Drug companies have tried for 90 years to find one, but they have never been able to find one because while you can find a drug to kill a virus, you end up killing the cell because they're so powerful. And the beauty here of using amino acids, that virus was made by an amino acid peptide chain, as was the cell that it needs to inhabit, because viruses are not living organisms. So the only way you can really safely stop a virus is to be able to safely enter the cell and downgrade the virus. And amino acids are perfect for that because our bodies accept them, the cells accept them, and it makes it very easy to get in and downregulate the virus. So everything in there is a natural product: vitamins, minerals, and amino acids.
Great. I just added direct links into the chat feature, so you can actually click those links and go directly to the company's offering pages on Netcapital. And so that was the natural component. And I know I was adding the links when you were speaking. Did you mention COVID-19 in a potential application? And I'm not sure.
Yes, no, I didn't, and I will explain that. We have had 30 beta users using the product for 2 years, and we expected to get a lot of feedback on the product. But basically, what we get is more. We need more. Send more. Well, to this date, we've had 4 users and/or family friends of users who have told us that they were able to get positive diagnosis of COVID. And then in 3 days, they were able to relieve most symptoms. And so with that, I mean, that's just anecdotal. You can't do anything with that. What we're doing, though, is we are taking that data, those data, and we are headed into a research at Retrovirox next month against the SARS-CoV-2 virus to find out exactly what type of reduction we can expect. Now, we also had an in vivo animal study with SARS-CoV-2 that showed us that we had some reduction, but we didn't get a number. So we're going to quantify that next month. We're not a COVID killer, but I think we might be able to show enough reduction where we can keep people out of the hospitals, perhaps, and offer respirators, but we really need to wait for the data to come through.
Great. And with the last couple of moments here, and unfortunately, I think we do have we have a little bit of flexibility in the schedule just by virtue of the time frame. So I think we could cover these that just came in. So what is the regimen for taking the medication? Year round, seasonal? Is this OTC? Will it require a script? Great question, Bill.
Well, we're applying for emergency OTC use, but as a supplement, we cannot make drug claims, but we can make a lot of immune support claims. So once we have the EUA coming through, then we'll be able to make full drug claims. So that's our intent as far as the FDA goes. And what was the first part of the question, Eric?
I marked it as answered, so I'm going to scroll. Here it is. Regimen for taking it, year round or seasonal?
No, we say take it at first suspected exposure. Perhaps you're on an airplane and someone's coughing, then you have to assume you've been infected by something. That's when you take a dose, or at first symptom, you take a dose. And a dose is 5 grams. And we created a melt-away tablet that melts in your mouth so that the product can go directly into your epithelium, right into the cell, start working on downregulating the virus immediately. So it's to be used at first symptom or first suspected exposure. But if you want, this is also a great immune support product. If you just want to protect yourself, just take a quarter, 1 tablet, every day during a seasonal outbreak, and that will give you a lot of immune support. as well.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much, Cynthia. Starting us off so strong. I appreciate it. I know there were a couple more questions, and maybe we can see if we can hold on later on to address those. But I do want to get all three of these companies started at least, and then we can circle back. So thank you for everybody and the attendance for asking those questions. And now is a great time. Ryan, if you are still, yep, I thought you were just hanging out. Perfect, perfect. Ryan, I'd love to welcome you on here and tell us a little bit about the Feel Good Lab.
Thanks, Eric and Cynthia. That was awesome. That was great to learn about. Let me just share my screen here. All right. Can you guys see that? So hello, everybody. I'm Ryan Gresh, CEO and one of the co-founders here at the Feel Good Lab. And we make healthier over-the-counter medicines for sufferers of chronic pain that are both effective and safe. So unfortunately, there's an epidemic treating chronic pain in this country with over 100 million sufferers in the US alone. And 2/3 of them wake up every day believing they'll never live another day pain-free for the rest of their lives. The reason is unfortunately, we're not using the right tool for the job. In the instance of opioids, they're incredibly important for treating a lot of types of pain. But when that pain is chronic and there's an underlying root cause, because opioids merely mask the pain symptoms, they do nothing to address the root cause. We know what kind of side effects, and not just in the GI tract, that come with the addiction and all of the different challenges with the opioid epidemic. Even worse, when we look at oral NSAIDs like ibuprofen, they have a similar issue. With them really just taking the edge off of that pain, they don't do anything to address the underlying root cause. And so today, the CDC now recommends that topical pain relievers are the frontline defense for chronic pain sufferers. But unfortunately, when we look at the OTC aisle and the brands that have been around for decades, their formulas have not changed. They're smelly, greasy, and they include ingredients that we would never ingest. And we believe what you put on your skin goes in your body. And so this is what led my dad, who's our lead pharmacist here at the Feel Good Lab, to spend his entire career searching for a solution to chronic pain. We saw firsthand in our family's pharmacy just how bad the opioid epidemic was during the 90s. So in 1999, he shut down his conventional pharmacy and he opened up one of the nation's first combined functional medicine practices with compounding pharmacy. The compounding side allowed him to customize medicine for these chronic pain patients, and he became an expert in what's called transdermal medicine. That's delivering medicine through the skin right to the site in pain, bypassing the GI tract, which can increase efficacy and reduce side effects. But every formula that he created needed a prescription from a doctor. So customers came in all the time saying, Gene, what would you recommend over the counter? The answer was none. So we created one. Introducing the first two products from the Feel Good Lab, our natural pain cream and our sport recovery lotion. We removed all the harmful ingredients from the OTC topicals and instead replaced them with natural, better for you ingredients that can actually help address the root cause. All from what we learned formulating products in my dad's lab. Ingredients like arnica, turmeric, devil's claw, just to name a few. Our product is FDA registered to treat pain and make claims just like all the competitors that we sit on the shelf with. We launched in 2016 and we built some great momentum online, becoming Amazon's #1 natural pain cream and getting great notoriety in the media. Our go-to-market strategy has 3 different areas: direct to consumer through e-commerce, specialty retail, which is really where we build our credibility. Those are healthcare practitioners, physical therapists, chiropractors, podiatrists. And finally, the biggest market for us is that conventional traditional retail. When you go through an aisle at Target and CVS, you'll notice that there are no FDA registered natural products. And that's the solution that we intend to solve here at the Feel Good Lab. So we leverage that data and our amazing customer reviews online to launch with CVS and Target this year in 2020. We were only in 330 stores. Our relationship is just beginning to bud, and you can imagine COVID was a bit of a challenge launching last year. In addition, we launched with Select Physical Therapy, who's one of the nation's largest physical therapy outlets. And we're on a mission to bring healthier and safe and effective OTC pain relievers to consumers across the world. And so with that, that's my 3 minutes, but I'm sure that there'll be plenty of questions along our business case and our margin and whatnot, and I'll be happy to field those.
Thank you for that, Ryan. I was just starting to look for the hook. No, I'm kidding. You did a great job for keeping it to three minutes there. As we're waiting for the new questions to come in, I'm a proud believer that the team is the most important. You talked about your dad and your experience. Can you tell us a little bit about the rest of the team while we're waiting for some more active Q&A?
Sure. On the leadership team, we have myself and two other co-founders. CJ Force has his background in marketing. He was a VP at an Omnicom agency out in California. He's incredibly talented. He does all our beautiful branding, our digital marketing, etc. Kyle Fitzpatrick is another co-founder who comes from the operations world. He was at Red Bull for about a decade after college. These are actually two college buddies of mine who we kind of got back together and partnered through the University of Connecticut, who now we actually got accepted into the University of Connecticut Technology Incubation Program. So we're working on some clinical studies and really trying to double down on the scientific side of things using the credibility through UConn Health Center. And then lastly, on our leadership team, we have Lynn Clark, who is on 6 different boards of directors. She has amazing CPG background. She worked at PepsiCo, General Mills, and she's kind of our general manager, as you will. She keeps us in check and helps us be held accountable.
Perfect. Thanks for that, Ryan. And right on cue, the business case is being asked for. So margins, cost versus selling price.
Sure. So today we have a 3.4 ounce tube, which costs us about $4.50 to make. That includes all our packaging, our boxes, etc. We sell that for $28 at retail. We're also launching a smaller size, which is going to be 1.7 ounces. That cost is going to be a little over $3.50. We'll be selling it at about $18 MSRP.
Perfect. And then do you have any intellectual property? Is there any competitive moat around the product other than marketing and branding?
Yeah, we have a patent on our formulation. And we also are working on some CBD formulas that have some intellectual property around them as well. But with anything in this space, we're competing against multi-billion-dollar conglomerates. So as much as it's important to continue to build that IP moat, we also know that that's not the end all be all. And we don't just rest on our laurels of saying we have a patent to protect us. We know that first to market, customer testimonials, and all those things are equally as important.
Fantastic. Wow, you're really using that time the best you can. And we're going to keep it coming. Please continue to engage with the Q&A. Thanks all the attendees and panelists, of course, as well. We want to keep this as interactive as possible, as always. So next question here, how would you compare the Feel Good brand to CBD products in terms of lasting effects, considering that CBD is a growing, there are other growing brands in the natural pain relief. There we go.
So first and foremost, we believe in plant medicine, and we believe that's going to be one of the healthier solutions to treating chronic pain. CBD is on the forefront of that for us. We are big believers in cannabis and the ability to use CBD topically and transdermally to treat pain. We're launching a CBD product here in 2021, but we also have 30 other plant-based ingredients that we think are really important as well. So we're really spending a lot of time and money on getting the proof around CBD because it is a brand new market. We do have the ability to make claims because we're FDA registered with menthol, just like BioFreeze, Bengay, and Icy Hot. But really to take it to that next level, we're trying to leverage our partnership with UConn and do the clinical studies to really prove the efficacy of CBD when we add it to our product, as well as proving the efficacy of our product without CBD. One of the important things, we're launching with a new group of chiropractors here in the middle of the year. And one of the things that they love about our brand is most CBD companies are just CBD based. We are a pain relief brand. We believe in having healthy, effective pain relief, whether or not you believe in CBD or not. We're going to have both options for you.
Awesome. And a question coming in from a member of the Pepperdine MFC community. What are the chronic pain conditions that the product addresses?
Sure. So what the FDA allows us to make claims around are arthritis, back pain, muscle and joint pain, sprains, strains, and bruises. And we need to be really careful. I think this is a good question because we are a drug. We are not a supplement. So we can only make those claims and nothing else. We can't tell you that turmeric is an anti-inflammatory or arnica reduces bruising. These are things that we can talk about why they're included in the formulation, but we can't make those additional claims. So the claims that we can make, luckily, are that we treat arthritis pain, back pain, and other muscle and joint pain.
Great, Ryan. And you're running right up to the end of the time there. So trying to keep everything as equal as possible. Thank you so much, Ryan, with the Feel Good Lab. And we will kind of start to segue in. But before I allow Phil to come in and tell us about TripBio, shameless plug time. Again, all these companies are actively raising capital on the Netcapital platform. I knew this was going to happen eventually. This is Atlas. He's a good boy, but he doesn't realize that he's this big. So please do not hesitate to go directly to netcapital.com, search for Biomedic and TripBio in the Feel Good Lab, learn more, ask any further questions there, and of course, feel free to invest. This is a great time. Phil from TripBio, why don't you come on in and tell us a little bit about your product, your company?
Hey, thanks everyone. I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you and to tell you about TripBio. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Hang on 2 seconds. There we go. I guess that's working, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks great.
Okay, good. Okay, well, listen, TripBio is a new biotech company that came into existence with the idea of treating infectious disease and starting out with pandemic viral infections. Excuse me, this thing's not forwarding. Let me stop the share. Huh. Did I lose you guys? Okay, let's try again. Okay. Okay, there you go. So we started this with the idea that we wanted.
I don't think we can see your. I don't think we can see your slides.
Okay, my bad. Let's try it again. Share screen. There we go. And okay.
There it is.
Okay, so what we wanted to do was to shortcut the time it takes to bring an NCE to market. There's thousands of drugs in the marketplace right now that are effective for many other things than what they're approved for. And we started off on a path to say, let's find out what they are and treat infections. We started looking at viral infections and started looking at bacterial infections. Pandemic came along. Dr. Ralph Tripp, who we've licensed our initial IP from, had been working in influenza. Natural change was to check the SARS-2 COVID-19. And we found out very quickly that the repurposed product we're working on that's been in the market for 50 years was highly effective in the laboratory against the COVID virus. And this was back, we assigned the license in April, and we moved forward very quickly and proved in the laboratory and that we had effectiveness against the SARS-CoV-2 COVID-19 in animal models as well. We could prevent the bacteria from, the virus from taking hold after exposure, and we could eliminate the virus after exposure. Very important. But what we wanted to do was ensure that we built upon that platform. And one of the things that's important for us is viruses have one purpose in life, and that's to continue living. And the way they do that is they get into the human cell and they use the cell's machinery to replicate, and they burst the cell and they explode and they go back out and they have heavy viral loads. The more they do it, the more virus is in your body or in people's bodies. Dr. Tripp found that targeting one receptor called the OAT3 receptor, which is a key transmitter of the virus from X cell into the intracellular space, stopped this virus from replicating. That's what we found with influenza. We found that that works with the SARS-CoV-2 COVID-19. It works with other viruses we're working on, respiratory syncytial virus, which is a terrible virus in premature infants. And we're also found that it works in bacterial infections. Backing up to SARS-CoV-19, we found that rapidly blocking that eliminates the virus pretty quickly from humans and eliminates the virus very quickly from animals. And we decided to take all of our focus and put it into the COVID-19 right now. And the reason we did it was our molecule is very simple to manufacture. We can make millions of doses a month, a week even, and we can deliver it globally for a very low cost. The current FDA cleared therapies are expensive, hard to manufacture, hard to distribute, and very difficult to administer because it has to be done via IV infusion. what we have found since then is that the new variants that you're hearing about, the vaccines are not going to be as effective. And there's publications out now showing that by March, the predominant virus in the United States will have very little susceptibility to the vaccines and very little susceptibility to the antibody therapies. It doesn't matter with our product. Our product is a universal antiviral. It'll kill all virals and all viruses, and also will kill bacteria. So we're excited to make the advances we've made from May until now. We've taken it through the labs, through the animals. We've put it into humans and demonstrated that we can knock the virus out of humans, 90% of them in 14 days, and that's at a low dose. And we've demonstrated all the comorbidities associated with the patients infected with COVID, the cough, the temperature, all the other issues were decreased or eliminated in patients treated with our product. We went to the FDA, we gave them our data, and they've given us a very short path forward to do a small phase 2B study where we can demonstrate in a controlled fashion against placebo that the product works as well as we know it does. And at that point, we can apply for an emergency use authorization. We think that'll happen sometime towards the end of Q2. We've done a lot in just a very short period.
Great time, Phil. If you want to give us a last couple of thoughts, we can open it up to some questions.
Perfect. I was done. We've done a lot in just a short period of time, and thanks to the Netcapital folks and the people investing in Netcapital, we've been able to move this program forward to where now we're at a point where we can really change the world. So I'll let it go from there.
That's perfect. Thanks, Phil. And you can go ahead and stop sharing. Phil, I'd love to begin while we're allowing the attendees to start adding to the Q&A section. Can you tell us a little bit about the rest of your team and how you got involved with TripBio?
Sure. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been a CEO of 5 public companies over the last 25 years. I've raised $900 million, had very good exits, M&A. We have Dr. Ralph Tripp as our Chief Scientific Officer. He's a key member of the FDA Advisory Committee for viral indications. He sat on the committees for the vaccines. He sits on every viral committee, very well regarded and well respected globally. We have Richard Still, our CFO. We have a great board of big pharma folks who've been around and developed a lot of drugs, and we're thrilled to have everyone around with us.
Thanks for that. And the questions are starting to come in, but I just wanted to point out how exciting of an opportunity this is for me personally. Almost my entire family is medical. I'm the black sheep that defected and went to law school instead. And so it's so great to see that I can have a small impact in the medical space, because I think what the work that is done in that space really is incredibly important. So this lets me go back to my family and say that I'm still doing something productive. So a couple really good questions are coming in here. If it knocks out COVID-19, will it assist those who are COVID-19 long haulers and seems to be having long-term symptoms? So I think the idea is around long-term symptoms.
Yeah. Well, what we found, interestingly, and this, as you know, it's an evolving science. We found, and it's been identified now and published, that patients that are on the heavier side on the BMI range retain virus much longer. It's just a fact of their metabolism and the fat stores that they have. And we found in our study, they did maintain virus longer. What we know is that if we give them TD213, we will eliminate the virus 90% within 14 days. The final clearance ended up in 21 days. So the people who were continually infected, we would recommend that they get TD213, but also, as with all viruses, take HIV as an example. We don't believe that one drug is going to be the final be all end all. We think we can have a tremendous impact over the long term when we learn more. Combination therapy, which we're working on and we haven't discussed yet publicly, is going to be a key component of treating and curing people.
Thanks for that, Phil. Next question here. Can you expand on the cost to get to commercial availability? How much further investment will you need, and do you anticipate partnering? Good question, Bill.
To the final question, we are always open to partnering with like-minded companies. There's no doubt in my mind it's the best way to get drugs globally available. To bring our product forward, to get through the phase 2B program the FDA has agreed with, to do some other preclinical work that they'd like us to do, and to have it all done by the end of Q2. If we can raise anywhere from $5 to $8 million, it'll be done. And then if we are assigned the emergency use authorization, which we believe we'll deserve with the data proving it, we'll be commercializing then, but it doesn't end. We have to continue doing studies, but that's what's going to get us to commercial.
That actually feeds very nicely into the next question here. Is Trip Bio doing clinical studies? Do you need test subjects?
We will be doing our next clinical study probably starting the end of this quarter. And of course, we'll always need lots of COVID positive people to test.
And then I'm going to skip around a little bit here just because we have only about a moment or two left before we kind of open it up a little bit more broadly. Is this a 1-dose or will it be a 2-dose vaccine?
It's not a vaccine, it's a therapeutic. And I think I probably didn't make it clear. We believe keeping people out of the hospital is going to lower mortality. There's the treatments approved for mild to moderate COVID infection right now under FDA EUAs are infusions and expensive and time consuming. We believe an oral treatment twice a day for 5 to 7 days is going to be the answer. We'll keep people out of the hospital. We'll lower the mortality.
That is perfect. Well, again, and I want to keep all of our panelists here for a moment, but I want to thank you all for joining me, Ryan, Phil, Cynthia. I hope that the attendees enjoyed learning more about Biomedic and Feel Good Lab and Trip Bio. I am going to have them, because again, I love this, have a snippet of time to say their last piece of why you should go directly and invest right now. So I'm kind of queuing all the panelists up right now to be prepared for that. And we're going to go in reverse order. So we'll end with you on Cynthia as you are our bookend, just so everybody's prepared for that. But before I do that, I do want to remind all of our participants that you can go to netcapital.com and invest in any of these companies. Just search for them directly or click the links that I added into the chat feature. Thank you all so much for your participation and your engagement. Those are some great questions. And of course, we're just scratching the surface. That's kind of the design for this, for you to get a little bit more familiarity, see the faces behind these companies. And then of course, I wouldn't be a good host if I didn't mention that this is the first of several demo days this month. Obviously, this was about health and wellness, but on Thursday, there is an event on sustainability, same time on Thursday. Social Impact will be next week, a week from today, on Tuesday, the 26th, also at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And our last January Demo Day event will be on diverse industries, January 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So the much awaited and arguably one of my favorite parts of these is why should these participants go directly to netcapital.com right now and invest in your company? Again, Phil and then Ryan and then Cynthia.
Great. If you want to change the world and you want to improve patient outcomes and save lives, invest in Trip Bio.
Short, sweet, and to the point. Ryan didn't even have a chance to finish up his note yet. He was getting a nice high cue. Go ahead, Ryan.
We have an incredible market opportunity, and we're following in the footsteps of one of the few brands that's disrupted the OTC topical space in the past decade, BioFreeze. They've proven to us in just 4 years of retail expansion, they're worth over $1.3 billion today. It's because consumers are looking for healthier options that don't require taking pills every day for the chronic pain. So if you want to be a part in our mission of bringing healthier pain relief, you can either check us out on Netcapital or even just as good, buy our product, try our product, and spread the word.
Fantastic, Ryan. Thank you so much. And last, but certainly not least, Cynthia, why don't you tell us why investors should go directly to your link right now? You're muted, Cynthia. Sorry.
Thank you. I was muted. We're in production right now with the first and only known natural broad spectrum antiviral. We expect to be in the market in March, and we're raising now to continue production and to expand and grow. So now's a great time to come in.
Perfect. Well, thank you all, Ryan, Phil, Cynthia, the whole team behind the scenes. All right. I know you all would say that you couldn't do it without the rest of your team. So the whole Biomedic and Feel Good Lab and Trip Bio teams, thank you to you all. It's been a pleasure to work with you. And thank you for being the first of many January Demo Day series. It was a pleasure having you all on. And thank you so much for all of our participants and your fantastic questions. So with that being said, I will bid all of you adieu. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you, Eric.